You could have let the music play for a little while longer. You ain't have to make it obvious that I'm a few minutes late, sir. Happy, what day is today? Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to our celebration. We were coming here to tear up, right? We were furious about the fact that they put those barricades out there last night, but thankfully they are replacing the panels that they should have never taken down in the first place. We appreciate all of your support. We wouldn't be here without your help. We wouldn't be here without your assistance. We wouldn't be here without our action teams. So we appreciate all of you. As always, we start with a libation. So I'm going to start with a quick abbreviated libation so we can get right to our program, which is going to be brief as soon as I find the libation. I have so many different emails on this phone. There we go. All right, everyone. So like I said before, due to time constraints, this will be an abbreviated libation as required. I always like to ask permission from the eldest ancestor here, the eldest person here, before I begin to speak. So do I have your permission?
You do. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you, sir. I appreciate you, sir. Hello, my name is Dana Carter, and I have the honor of pouring libation. Libation is giving honor, reverence, respect, and recognition to our ancestors whose shoulders we stand on. I greet you, my brothers and sisters, in the ancient language of Kemet, which the Greeks call Egypt, Hotep, which means peace. We use water to purify and to nourish our souls. Let us say Ashe. We pour libation. Let me actually pour the libation. Can we turn the microphone down a bit? Now, when you get up here, don't trip. Don't slip on the water. I'm just gonna pour a drop. We pour libation to Mother Africa, the birthplace of all humanity. Let us say Ashe. We pour libation to the great civilization of Africa. Let us say Ashe. We pour libation in the remembrance of our ancestors who died during the Middle Passage, those who chose the water, ancestors who suffered enslavement, who were uprooted from their homes and homeland, and who were set sail on a horrifying voyage. We do not know their names, but it is because of them we are here today. Let us say Ashe. Let me put on my glasses because I'm feeling like I can read without them. There we go. We pour libation to the men and women who fought and resisted enslavement to help free our people. Men and women like Harriet Tubman, a runaway from captive Maryland. From Maryland. Let us say Ashe. Denmark Vesey of South Carolina, who in 1822 formed a complicated and tremendous plan for the liberation of his fellow men. Let us say Ashe. Nat Turner, an American captive who started the largest slave rebellion in the southern United States, in Southampton County, Virginia. Let us say Ashe. Although we traditionally pour libation also to many of our other ancestors, both famous and personal, and we say Ashe after we call their names, due to time constraints, this will be an abbreviated libation. So let us all say 3 times Ashe, 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 Ashe. Welcome to our celebration. Today, we honor you all. Today is the day we give thanks to our supporters for this long, hard fight. We started a 30-day campaign. I believe it was on January 27th, and today is probably day 23, 24, 25, I don't know, but within that 30 days, guess what we got back? our panels. Within those 30 days, guess what happened? We won the lawsuit. Within those 30 days, what happened? Look at how much we've increased our network. So yes, it was a fight. Yes, we should have never done it. But if we didn't do it, if they never removed those panels, we wouldn't have interacted with some of you all. So sometimes some of those failures, some of those trials, some of those tribulations are actually a win for our people, because we built up our army with soldiers who are ready to fight against injustice, and soldiers who are ready to restore the history, to tell the truth, and to save the president's house. So thank you for your support. Moving along with our program for today, Mr. Corey. Mr. Corey. Thank you. I was waiting for my agenda. We're first going to start with my Jewel Johnson, who is an ATAC steering committee member. Come on up, my Jewel. My Jewel also is the person who broke the news. He was standing right here when they started to put the panels up, so please give my Jewel a round of applause.
How you doing, everybody? How do you? Good. Howdy.
Better.
Better. Okay. All right. Today is a great day. Hey, I'm elated. Of course, we know that the struggle is still real. But as Frederick Douglass once said, without struggle, there is no progress. And we're still fighting. The battle is still being fought in court. But today, this great day, this greatest of day, this day of pride, we got our panels put back up. And here we have shown, and we will continue to show that fascism can be defeated. That you can take on the most powerful figure in the history of the world and on the planet, the President of the United States, and you can win. You can win. You can win. And we have won. And we're going to win again. I thank everyone for being here today. Hey, as the ancestors once said, before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. We're not going anywhere. We're going to continue. We're going to make sure that this memorial is not only put back, it's going to be replicated across the nation and around the world. Our history is going to be told, and it's going to be told the right way, because that is how we can and we will be brought together ever as a people, and we will be stronger, together ever. Thank you very much. I just had to correct something. I was notified by Bill Rooney. Where's Bill Rooney at? Bill Rooney's over here. He's the guy who took the pictures and broke the news to me. Credit where credit is due. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother, and all of you. Love you. Thank you. Ashe, hey, and Karibu. Welcome. Thank you very much.
We win. We win. We win.
Thank you, my Jewel Johnson. Next up will be Stephen Pierce, who is another member of ATAC. I also want to give a shout out to Bill Rooney, because that's the person who sent me the pictures. I don't know if he's out here, but thank you so much for your vigilance. Thank you so much for your support and your vigilance. Come on up, Stephen Pierce.
Hello, can everyone hear me? Yep. This is like my first time ever addressing everyone without being in my uniform, interestingly enough, at another event. But first off, I just want to say, when the history books are going to be written about this moment, I think there's going to be four key things, four key events that are going to be written about resisting and preventing the rise of fascism in the United States. The first one, we have to give it up to the people of Minneapolis fighting the Gestapo, and here too, but Minneapolis definitely. I think the release of the Epstein files by courageous members of Congress. I think that also the No Kings rallies and No Kings protests, people showing up saying that we're still here. But boy, if they don't include this moment that we are here, because in every authoritarian dictatorship They always go after the information first. The information that doesn't fit with their clean narrative. And we said, oh, hell no. And we stopped them. And we're going to keep on stopping them. So I want to go on and just say, I want to thank the National Park Service for doing the right thing and for following the Constitution of the United States, for following the rule of law, which this president is trying to destroy. The National Park Service workers, do not allow your evil bosses to drag this prestigious department into the ground. They don't care about you. I know you got to put food on the table, but when is enough enough? One of the most disturbing things that happened in this entire cycle is when they were pulling down the panels and one person said, what are you doing? And one of the National Park Service workers says, I'm just doing my job. I'm just following orders. Well, where have I heard that before? The NPS, in my opinion, is one of the greatest departments the federal government has ever created. I once tried to become a park ranger because I looked up to these guys as a kid. They are a huge reason I went into the history field. Many of them are the best among us, but to see their silence in this moment is very discouraging. I believe a big reason they remove these panels and that the administration is trying to make their lives so hard is an attempt to make them forced to quit the department. I don't want that to happen, but we need them to start stepping up because they're going to try to keep doing this. Elon Musk tried to fire many people in different sections of the federal government, and they're so stupid that they had to rehire a lot of them back to their jobs. I just also want to remind the National Park Service workers that you work for us, not the President of the United States. This site would not have happened without the Avenging the Ancestors Coalition. As someone who's been in the history field for 5 years and has tried to tell the history of those who have been left to the margins, I know how hard it is to make something like this happen. So it's not only an insult to those who were enslaved here, but it's an insult to all these people who worked so hard to lobby, to tell this story to be told. I think this is one of the best educational spaces in the entire city of Philadelphia, and if we had more places like this around the country, I think we'd be a better nation for it. People are trying to compare this to statues of Rizzo and Columbus. It's not even close. This is an educational space for everyone that tells everyone's story. And I want to remind people in 2024, the National Park Service tried to get rid of a statue of William Penn at Welcome Park, and it didn't happen because the people rose up. They said, we don't want this to happen, and National Park Service listened to the people. They didn't listen to the president. They didn't listen to anyone. They listened to the people. The hypocrisy is stunning. Could you imagine if President Obama was trying to take away statues of George Washington in Valley Forge? You think they would allow that to happen? They would have impeached him. But when it's Donald J. Trump trying to take down the first federally recognized slavery memorial, status quo, silence. Well, we were not silent. And we won. We're going to continue to win because we're going to be here as long as we can. Because we care more about this space than the thugs in the White House. They got money, but we got people. In this city, we never shy away from a fight. When we get knocked down, we get back up. Let's keep the momentum, keep the faith, and let's win this.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Stephen, who I almost didn't recognize because I'm used to seeing you dressed in your George Washington gear. So it's nice to see you in regular clothes. All right, coming up next will be the leader of ATAC, the leader of this mission, the leader of our fight to restore the truth, to tell the truth, restore the president's house, and to save our history. Please welcome Attorney Michael Cord.
That all, there's going to be a big round of applause and Denzel Washington-like response. But in all seriousness, folks, I do have some items I want to talk about, but I'm going to go off script for just a second. We need to understand what we've done here. This is actually a moment in time. Your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren are going to be talking about this for years and decades to come. I'm not sure why I'm getting feedback, but our audio guy was straightening it out for us. But I want to just say a couple things before we get to the actual point that I'm here. The first thing is what I just alluded to. This here, right now, what we've done is people power. There's a rally or a chant that activists use that goes like this: the people united will never be defeated. And I got to tell you, when I first heard that chant, I felt like it was cool, it was nice, it was cute, but it really has substance to it. So I just want you for a few seconds just to think about what you all have done. Because what you've done is to actually create history. Having said that, back on, yeah, there's a big round of applause for you all, for you all. I mean, think about it. You fought the most powerful man on the planet and you won. Now, when I say won, kind of, sort of, our lawyer, Karen McClellan, professor at University of Penn Law School, is going to go into more detail. And you might say, well, Mike, you're a lawyer, why don't you go into detail? I'm a criminal homicide lawyer, and none of you look like killers. Correction, alleged killers. And so since you are not that, we're going to leave it to the expert. Having said that, let me jump into some gloating. Back on January 27, we had a town hall meeting. And at that town hall meeting, Zoom meeting, we announced a 30-day campaign. And that campaign was the first step in the effort to, 1, restore the site, 2, enhance the site, and 3, replicate the site across the country in similar situations. And the first part of that was the 30-day restoration. And we had naysayers, and we had haters, and we had opponents who said it couldn't be done in 30 days. Well, damn it, we got it done in less than 30 days. And I'm glad to hear you applaud for that, because that's major. And people were saying, well, if you don't get it done within 30 days, you were a failure. No, you weren't. What we've done here with this ATAC movement is to take a page out of the book of our ancestors and elders who fought the good fight in the civil rights struggle from the 1950s to the 1960s. And they had a two-pronged approach. One was to send activists out to raise hell in the streets. The other approach was to send attorneys to the courtrooms and raise issues in the courts. And that's precisely what we did. You look at the Montgomery bus boycott. They thought that in December of 1955, what was going to happen is in a week, 2 weeks, a month, they would win. That went on for 381 days, and they won. Now, our situation is not going to last that long. In fact, if you could hand me that, because our PR expert gave me a script because she knows that I can go on for 15, 20, 25 minutes. She said, read this, damn it. I haven't even started reading this yet, really, but I will get to it. But in all seriousness, we look at what the elders and the ancestors did in order to get as far as they got. They got us to halfway to the top of the mountain, and now we're here to take it away. Before I get to this, and believe me, I'm going to get to this, but I got to say this. People know me as the angriest black man in America, and I wear that on my sleeve, and here's why. It came from James Baldwin, and paraphrasing him, what he basically said was this: to be black and conscious in America is to be in a constant state of rage. You can't be black in America and know about slavery and not be enraged. You can't be black in America and know about sharecropping and not be enraged. You can't be black in America and know about convict leasing and not be enraged. You can't be black in America and know about Jim Crow and mass incarceration and redlining and gerrymandering. You can't be black and know those things and not be angry. But as James Baldwin put it, that anger has to be focused, has to be strategic, has to be productive. And that's exactly what we've done. Speaking of what we've done, check out this timeline. ATAC, tell the truth, restore our history. 30-day timeline of events. On Thursday, January 22, the guy in the White House sent some vandals to vandalize this site. And as of 2:57 p.m. on Thursday, January 22, the vandalism took place. But that's an understatement. It was more than just vandalism. It was actual desecration. And that's no hyperbole. Somebody asked me, I believe it was Solomon Jones from WRD, asked me why I called it desecration. And here's why. This site here is historic, hallowed ground. And when you defile hallowed ground, you desecrate it. And that was done on January 22. Fast forward to Friday, January 23. The President's House Slave Memorial Alliance and members of ATAC hosted a Zoom meeting the day after. And then Tuesday, January 27, that's when we launched this 30-day campaign. And this 30-day campaign, remember what I said? First part, restoration. Second part, enhancement. Third part, replication. We're on track. Let's go to Sunday, February 1. ATAC launched a public petition demanding the restoration of the President's House site. We asked for 1,000. Then we got 2,000. Then we got 3,000. Then we got 4,000. Then we got 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. As of today, we're damn near up to 8,000 signatures, along with, round of applause, along with over 101,000 views, 3,200 shares, and 405 petition promoters. Then we go to more recently, Tuesday, February 10, 2026. ATAC hosted a mega town hall rally. Not a MAGA town hall rally, but a mega town hall rally, attended by over 500 persons protesting the removal of the memorial panels and calling for the defense of historical truth. Speaking of historical truth, all the information I share at these events, we have a mobile billboard behind us, or to my left. Take a look at that mobile billboard. It includes a QR code that breaks down everything I'm saying. Let's keep it moving. This major rally we had included Christian, Muslim, and Jewish faith leaders, Republican and Democratic community leaders. Let me stop right there. And I know that Dana and I know that Dawn are really blowing their stack right now. I should have been done 5 minutes ago, but I got the mic, they don't. But having said that, it says here, and I think Dawn put it well, Republican and Democratic community leaders came together. And it wasn't just that. Sam Katz, known throughout Philadelphia history being a strong Republican. George Bracchetto, a big-time Republican attorney. Well, I and they stand together on this issue. Imagine that. 2 Republicans and a Pan-African socialist revolutionary together seeking the same thing. Let's give that item, that concept, a big round of applause. And it wasn't just those Democratic, Republican, and progressive, and liberal, and socialist leaders. It was also local and state elected officials, historians, activists, and concerned citizens. Fast forward to Monday, February 16. Since 2002, when ATAC was founded, nearly a quarter century ago, we would hold events on certain historic days. For example, we hold an event on President's Day to talk about how black people being enslaved made the presidency and American government possible. I mean, think about it this way. George Washington enslaved 316 black men, women, and children at his Mount Vernon, Virginia plantation, and illegally held 9 right here. You ought to know that. You also need to know that 11 other presidents enslaved black men, women, and children. You also need to know that of the 56 signers of the Declaration of Independence, 56 white male property owners that signed the Declaration, not really on July 4 of 1776, but historians know it was on a Tuesday, July 2nd of 1776, that these 56 white male property owners signed the Declaration of Independence. Of that 56, 75%, 41 of them were involved in the slave trade. So when we talk about President's Day, we ATAC come together to expose that truth. This President's Day, February 16, we hosted an annual President's Day gathering drawing more than 100 community members honoring the 9 enslaved that you see to my left. And here's the thing. I don't care if you believe in spirituality and all that kind of stuff, but exactly 1:07 p.m. on Monday, February 16, while we were doing this thing to honor those 9, we get the message that Judge Roof, a Republican appointed by a Republican president, granted our preliminary injunction. And when I say our, I mean the city of Philadelphia, and big shout out to the Honorable Mayor, Sherelle Parker, who led the battle just hours after this took place. And then the city law department represented her, created some great motions, petitions, and arguments in court, and did a great job. And then our attorneys came in, headed by Kara McClellan, Professor Kara McClellan of University of Penn Law School. And as great as the city's lawsuit was, throwing no shade right now, but ours was better. We filed an amicus, and an amicus means you join into the lawsuit. And the reason why I say better, and I'm just joking when I say that, we were able to expand it and go behind the great focused argument of the city about a contract breach to incorporate the 2,000-pound elephant in the room, race and racism. So we talked about the 14th Amendment, we talked about equal protection, and we talked about racism. Having said that, I gotta wrap this up. So that was on Monday the 16th. The next day, Tuesday, February 17, we hosted a virtual town hall with over 160 participants, and we talked about Judge Roof's ruling. Wednesday, February 18, yesterday, National Park Service representatives began to remove other stuff that was still on this site. People brought posters and papers and documents and taped them and stapled them up to where the vandals on January 22 had defiled and desecrated. So we have here Wednesday, February 18, when that took place. The interesting thing about yesterday's date is that later, after the vandals vandalized further this site, later that day, Judge Roof issued a subsequent court ruling requiring that the original interpretive panels be fully installed by 5 o'clock tomorrow. I really want to tell you about the appeal that the government filed. I really want to tell you about their failure to seek a stay of execution or execution of the judgment. But I can't, because a real lawyer is coming up after me, and again, y'all don't look like killers. Correction, alleged killers. Keep it moving. In my final 30 seconds, let me just say this. So after Judge Roof did her thing, then something interesting happened this morning. I see Dana in the corner of my eye, so I really got to wrap this up. The interesting thing is that after Judge Roof did her thing, this morning, Thursday, February 19, National Park staff began restoring and installing the original interpretive panels. Let's give that thing a big round of applause. But it's not what it appears to be. We can celebrate, but we have to be tempered because there's been some developments that the Lord would talk about. Final thing I want to say is that today we're doing this thing thanks to the vision of my jewel, Kay Johnson, and Stephen Pierce, the younger activists among our group who decided that we need to do something every day. And we started, as I pointed out, on January 27 with that 30-day campaign. And of those 3 things I mentioned, restoration, enhancement, and replication, within less than 30 days, we won that battle. Give yourselves a big round of applause.
Thank you, Mr. Court. Don't go too far because we're going to call you back up here in a minute. All right. I just wanted to give a few shout outs. Mr. Court already thanked my Jewel and Stephen for organizing this event. I want to thank you to our supporters. I sent the email out to our contact list at 10 p.m. and you all showed up, so we greatly appreciate you all coming here. I just wanted to to acknowledge some of our longtime supporters, Solomon Jones, who has always uplifted us. We appreciate you. Thera Martin, Reverend Cavanis is here from Mother Bethel Baptist Church. Paul Steinke, who is the Greater Philadelphia Preservation Alliance Executive Director. Save Our Signs, I know, supporting us from afar, so because they're not here in Philadelphia. So we appreciate your support. Thank you all for showing up. Kara McClellan, who is our attorney, had a family issue, so she's not going to be able to give our legal updates. But Dawn Chavu, who is right here, I'm sure you all know Dawn. Dawn has been a blessing to us. I know she doesn't want us to bring too much attention to her, but we greatly appreciate Dawn and what she has done to move this effort forward. Anyway, if you all want any questions, if you all want your questions answered about the legal matters, please have a conversation with Dawn and she will arrange your interview with our attorney, Kara McClellan, who couldn't be here at this time. Are we going to go to a Q&A session? Oh, I'm so sorry. We also want to acknowledge our elected officials who have been supportive to us from the very beginning, and we're going to ask for Council Member Nina Ahmed to come up and speak and give a few words. Thank you.
When we fight,
We win.
when we fight,
We win.
we did it. I know there's a ways to go, like Michael said, but doesn't matter. We can take pleasure right now. We can stand here and know that Oni Judge and Hercules, who were never caught, and Oni Judge made George Washington's life hell because he kept going after her and he did not succeed. So in her name, we say when we fight,
We win.
listen, thank you everybody for doing this, because what you're doing here is being watched across the world, because they are watching this man dismantle everything we hold dear. He's dismantling democracy, but people know around the world that local people are standing up in these places, so it is very important we show up. Thank you, Michael Court. Thank you, ATAC, for putting us together, because we'll keep showing up till the victory is won. Thank you.
Where's Channel 3? Do you guys have a clip? They just gave it to us. That's a nice microphone. We'll take it. You live right here. You put it right here. Oh, thank you. We appreciate you. No. We got it. All right. Yes, we are now going to have a brief Q&A session facilitated by Mr. Michael Cord. The key word is brief. So please ask your brief questions, and Mr. Cord is going to provide you with a brief answer.
And they did mean brief. Who has a question? Yes.
Aaron, obviously you alluded to it. I don't know if anybody can just. We're going to ask about, why we should be tempered, or why folks should be tempered with their excitement. Is there anything you can just tell us a little bit more about why be tempered?
The question was, why did I suggest we be tempered in our approach? I'm not going to go into any specifics, but in a general sense, let me just say this. Anytime you file an appeal from a district court decision in Pennsylvania, it goes to the Third Circuit Court of Appeals. Now, what normally happens is if you lose an appeal, you don't just appeal. You appeal and request a stay of execution of the judgment. So that wasn't done, but it still can be done. So here's the thing I can disclose because it's not confidential. The weird thing is that, and I know Dana and Dawn said be brief, and I am. The weird thing is this. The panels begin to be restored this morning around 10:45 a.m. What's weird is that yesterday or last night, the attorneys filed the motion for the stay. You would ask yourself, if you're going to install them in the morning, why would you ask for a stay the night before? So it's something weird going on. We're prepared to deal with it, and Professor Karen McClellan will go into more detail.
Next question.
Mike, I just want to, you've been involved with this for so long. What was that moment like when you heard that the panels were going back up?
Well, I'm still the angriest black man in America, but I must admit I was smiling a little bit. My thing is this: people often say that, well, we kind of won this, and we did, and in connection with that, they say that we should be ecstatic about it. Well, we're not ecstatic about it. It's the first step in a multi-step approach. We understand that this is justice to a certain extent today, because we truly believe that sometimes justice delayed is not always justice denied. So we were ecstatic, but we understand that this is a lawless administration. And even if we win in the courts, we don't know if they're going to do the right thing with it. But first, we got to win in the courts.
Rhonda, what is it like for you to be at a site where that reflects history and now you're making history?
What Taronda is talking about, ATAC, ATAC, Avenging the Ancestors Coalition, we actually fought for 8 years, 2002 to 2010, for the creation of the site. And on December 15, 2010, we got through that grand opening event, the first, and I repeat, the first slavery memorial of its kind on federal property in the history of the United States of America. That was great. But then, 15 years later, we get a guy in the White House who decides that historical sites like this have to be shut down. So as happy as I was going against a Republican administration beginning in 2002 and winning in 2010, I'm even more ecstatic about this battle and winning it because, and I want to make sure I don't say the wrong thing, because the battle against this guy in the White House is the most difficult in the history of black people in America, except for when Andrew Jackson was president.
Question.
Yes.
Donald Trump don't know a damn thing about race history.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. He's another George Wallace.
Okay, we got it, sir, but we need a question.
My question is, thank God we got this done.
That's a great question. The answer is thank God we got it done. Well said, sir. Well said. Very well said.
Mr. Court,
Yes.
why not a legal recourse, not punitive in nature, but a recourse that would, in a way, apologize to everyone here who loves education and who feels this is insulting. In fact, and my idea, as someone might agree, to expand this museum just a little bit better than it even already was.
A couple things. The first part of your question, we don't really care about words like apologies from the guy in the White House, not worth anything. But the second part you said, remember, is part of our agenda. You talked about expanding. Through this 30-day initiative we have, it's one, to restore the site, and then two, to enhance it. That's what you're talking about. Right. Expansion, and finally replication, this type of thing everywhere in the country where black people were enslaved on federal property.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
She's been waiting. Go ahead.
Washington,
Yes.
D.C., is there such a museum?
Right here.
Sir, one at a time, sir, we can come back.
Michael Workers World, there were 433 sites totally that Trump went after, and I know some of them dealt with fighting enslavement. Do you
Yes.
know if there were any other successes like that?
The short answer is no, we're not aware of any victories. Some lawsuits have been filed, but this is the first time we won in court. And very quickly, I'm glad you mentioned the other locations, because the reason that we have this here, this is actually an image from 1863 Harper's Weekly, a man known as Whipped Peter or Gordon, and the image is called the Scourged Back. Before any historical site was attacked, this was attacked. And at the National Historical Park in Georgia, this was removed. So the reason why we show this image is to show what could happen. So the answer is yes, there have been legal challenges elsewhere, but give yourselves a round of applause. This is the only place where we won. Okay, yes.
Some of the panels are still missing. Right. Yes.
What do you make about that? And have you heard? Are they going to continue the work tomorrow? What's going on?
They say the lawyers shouldn't speculate, but I'm going to do it anyway. First of all, they didn't want to put the 34 back. That's the first thing. Even if they had them out this morning and they didn't, why would their lawyers file the night before a stay to avoid what they did this morning? So beyond that, I can't really speculate except to say that with this administration, some of the lawyers are not rocket scientists. Yes.
You've been told it all about what the condition of the remaining panels are. There's some speculation they might be benched.
The question was the condition of remaining panels. The short answer is that Judge Roof was really thorough. She took us, several lawyers and some staff persons, to where the 34 panels are. And it was a really weird situation. I'm going to wrap this up in 30 seconds because I can talk for 30 minutes about this, but it was a weird situation because when the judge took us to a certain place, it was a result of the oral argument that Friday. When the judge asked, hey, where are the panels? The cryptic response from the government was that they are on the grounds of the National Constitution Center. The judge's like, what do you mean on the grounds of? We found out that the federal government owns a certain section of that site, and the 34 panels were in that site. I can't disclose to you exactly where I was when we were taken by the judge, but I can say this. Imagine taking the Liberty Bell and throwing it in Uncle Joe's garage. Well, it might not damage it, but damn it, it's the Liberty Bell. You don't put it in Uncle Joe's garage. That's where the 34 were. They were in a large garage-like structure with a giant metal gate that locked. And once you went inside, I figured that the 34 items were going to be bubble wrapped in cardboard. It wasn't. They were just laying against the wall and laying on the ground. That's why when I talk about desecration, it clearly was desecration. And here's the thing. Of the 34 panels, I say approximately 20 were ceramic/glass. The remaining 14 approximately were metal. The problem with the ceramic ones is that there were scratches, there were dents, there were scrapes. In regard to the metallic ones, they began to bow into a U-type shape. So yeah, there's some issues here. Can I say destroyed? No. Can I say severely damaged? No. But I can say blatantly desecrated.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mr.
Oh,
Ward.
that's it?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, we wanted to wrap it up. It's a little chilly out here, so we wanted to make sure that you all get back to your warm spaces. I want to thank you for coming out, especially on such short notice, to help us celebrate the restoration of some of the panels. I need for you to understand that your support is working, your actions are working, and we need you here in the fight with us. We will be in contact with next steps. Please follow us on social media, Press House Coalition on IG, President's House Philadelphia Alliance Coalition, I don't know, on Facebook, I don't even remember. You can send us an email, atac.avengingtheancestors@gmail.com. We are going to direct all media to Dawn Chavou so she can organize the interviews. Dawn is over here. Thank you for your time. Get home safely. And when we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. Have a good evening, everyone.